I wanted to talk to you guys pertaining to my next episode of Conscious Gems titled Right Person, Wrong Time. And what I wanted to do is give you guys a couple details about what was actually going on in that episode. So what I wanted to let you guys know is you can't really ignore the red flags of understanding when it is time to leave and when it is time to stay, and okay enough for you guys to stay. But also knowing that you cannot bring previous luggage into your next relationship is something that would be pivotal for us to all understand. But also understanding that we can't ultimately fall in love with potential, because sometimes we may not reach that potential, but also we may need a push to reach that or make ourselves aware of that potential in our spouse. So that's just something I want to bring to the table and let you guys understand. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Hey guys, you are now tuned in to part two of meeting the right person at the wrong time. Before I get things started, I want to give a big shout out to my audience. And I should have give y'all an update like a month ago or whatever like that. But I want to give a good shout out to you guys because I really, really appreciate y'all. Really from the bottom of my heart. So the other day, well, I say a few weeks ago, I was looking up the statistics of, looking up who really like follows and listens, and who applies my podcast and where y'all listening from and stuff like that. And I mean, it was real humbling to look at the statistics of things. And I have at least one person in 26 states. Out of the all 50 states, I have one person in at least 26 states listening to my podcast. And not only that, I had at least one listener, listening to me in Canada. Also, I have at least one listener listening from France. So I just, want to give a round of snaps for y'all, because that's beautiful, man. The fact that it can reach this many people, and I really appreciate it. It's on different platforms from Google Podcasts to Anchor to even, listening on a number of other things. I really appreciate you guys for actually taking the time out. Oh yeah, other things like Spotify. I really appreciate you guys for taking the time out. Because this is a space where I feel like I created energy for you guys to be able to be vulnerable in your own thoughts and really be able to think intuitively about what's really going on. So I think it's a beautiful thing, because I feel like anytime you will listen to these things, I feel like you can learn something. So I appreciate you guys for listening, because man, it really means something when I know that people are getting something out of this. Because look at the statistics, people are really getting something from this. So I really appreciate that. Back to part two of what's going on. So we're just gonna really get right back into it for what's going on. Sorry for the hold up. I know I kind of been dragging my feet with this, but I'm gonna start back dropping. You feel me? I'm back dropping. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So basically, more things I want to touch bases on with is that I feel like we can't always fall in love with potential. I say that because someone, you may be put in a situation where you continuously will ignore the red signs just because you're thinking about where you and that person may be. So basically in your mind, you have this thought of the promised land with this person. So you may ignore the signs, the red flags that may be them being, them being so self-indulged within themselves. Like, they may also be, whether they be a verbally aggressive or verbally abusive towards you, or they may not put you first, or they may not understand where they're wrong in certain situations where you have warned them about their behavior or different things of that nature. So sometimes we can be our biggest enemy in a relationship, because we may know what we're putting ourselves into, and then we may know what we're putting up with and still continue to stay when we know we deserve better. And sometimes you can't always be that person to be able to get them out of that situation. I know we've all fell a victim of feeling like, oh, they could just be this person if I show them this or if I show them that. And ultimately, it doesn't always come down to that, And I know we've all been in that situation where we feel like, oh man, if only this happened and this happened, then that person will be perfect, or it's just going to take some time for them to be perfect. But ultimately, we aren't the person that ultimately will guide them to that. It doesn't always happen like that. I know sometimes you guys would we would love for it to happen. Like, okay, I can just show them this, be patient with them, and it get to that. Then we can meet at that promised land. But sometimes you can't ultimately just ignore those big red flags, because there's ultimately other things that go on within their life that's going to need to be done for them to then understand that, wow, this is what's going to teach me to be better. This is what's going to teach me to not do this, that, and the third. There's a lot of things that I had to go through within my life that I had to realize about myself, about what was going on, and how to change my behavior. And it was outside of a relationship. I struggled from a number of things that I realized that, I'm not going to ultimately get out of a relationship, that I need to deal with within myself before I get to a relationship. Now, if I'm not aware of that, let's just say that, I'm still dealing with things from my childhood trauma, which I am. And then I get in a relationship where I'm not ready to be in a relationship, and I'm still dealing with fighting those triggers, or I'm fighting the things that I dealt with in my past. And then subconsciously I take it out on my partner. Now, it's going to take some time to get over that, some self-healing. Now, sometimes your partner can help you get over that hump. They can help you heal. But ultimately, sometimes it takes other things for them to help you get over that stuff. Like, I know, ultimately that my partner is not going to be able to completely heal me, and I might not be able to be completely healed. But I know that for me to get over some of those traumas and something like that, I need to attack those head on. Now, I know I won't get over those things unless I make a conscious effort to get over those things. Now, I'm in tune with, my vulnerability and how I feel and what I see and how I go about things. So sometimes when I am wrong, I feel these different things, I can tell myself this, but sometimes people are not in tune or aware of their red flags or what they got going on or certain things like that, because they're not aware of it. And they may ignore it because it's like, okay, well, I see it one way and anybody else who sees it any other way else is wrong, So sometimes we just fall a victim of thinking that we fall in love with somebody's potential when they may never reach that, or they're not in the state of mind to where they feel like they'll make a conscious effort to trying to reach that potential, And sometimes you got to understand our learning curves are all different. So sometimes it may take a little bit more time or a little less time for some people to be able to get to that potential than others, So that's the thing. So another thing that I do harp on is that I feel like with maturity, it does not come with age. A lot of us feel like a maturity comes with age, but it doesn't. What maturity comes from is experience. And the older you get, the more you experience. So you would then think that the more that someone would then experience something, or the older they would be, the more mature that they would be. But it doesn't ultimately always work like that, So that's why sometimes you find yourself dealing with somebody who is older, but then in a sense they haven't experienced certain things, so they don't know how to handle it. You have people still doing certain things in a relationship that is not tolerable at a certain age, or not tolerable in a sense at all, but they still do that because they have gotten away with it so much that, it's been accepted so much, they don't know how to change it. They don't know how to talk to somebody, respect somebody, love somebody. You feel me? Like all those different things come into play because of what's been happening to them. So it's a lot of things that come with, the relationship, and how to really go about it in the proper fashion. It's just basically how that person interprets it and go about it. So yeah, that's ultimately how I would truly feel about that is, because we all have to understand that we all are in places in our lives where we know who we are, or we're trying to find out who we are, and we ultimately know where we're trying to head to and what we need to work on. And sometimes it's different for other people, so you have to understand the learning curve. You got to understand sometimes you can't help everybody, and sometimes they have to also go through it on their own. You ever heard of that? It's like, you ever try to give your friend or somebody advice and they don't ultimately listen to you, but then when they go through it and then it's like, dang, you was right. That's what I'm talking about. You feel me? Like, they got to experience that first before they get to what they got going on. They got to experience certain things first. And sometimes you're the sign. You're that caution sign. And sometimes they ignore the signs. They ignore you, and they have to go through it the hard way to didn't understand. And sometimes, bro, that valuable lesson falls a root to anything that got going on in life, So that's the beautiful thing with that. And I think a lot of things we have to also learn is from these relationships that you can't always take the same mistakes into the next one. Like I had to learn that the hard way as well. Like sometimes, like I was bad with initiating communication. Like I'm bad with communicating first. Not like I could talk about my feelings and talk and perspective and all that for days. You feel me? Like that's what I do. But I had to be aware of what I was bad at and understand I couldn't take that into my next relationship. Or also understanding that ultimately with me knowing that ultimately I wanted to understand. I had to understand that what I would go through in life or through my past, I had to try to do what was best for myself and understand that I couldn't ultimately take out my past on other people because it's not ultimately their fault, even though I would be triggered, But you could make them aware that you've been through X, Y, and Z so that they then know, oh, okay, now I know how to handle the situation when this comes about. You feel me? And that's what I had to understand, like, the hard way is that, sometimes it's hard not bringing your previous baggage because sometimes those are your lessons. That baggage sometimes is your lessons. Like, hey, I got played last time in this similar relationship or this last situation, man. I ain't finna let nobody else play me, so I'm finna carry this baggage into the next one. You feel me? So I don't get played again. But ultimately, sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes you got to bring that baggage so you can then be aware, but also you got to give them also a clean slate of what's going on too as well, because they don't ultimately understand or may not interpret what's going on with you. You feel me? Like not a lot of people can understand my trauma, what I've been through or something like that, but some other people could relate. You feel me? It's like, in a sense, like how could you, give somebody a disciplinary action for not knowing how to handle you and what went on in your past? Like, you feel me? Like, it's certain times where I've tried to be, I feel like I have a wide range of perspectives. So I feel like I could be there for a lot of people or relate to a lot of people because of what I experienced and what I've been through. But ultimately, there's been conversations that I've had with people in classrooms or just having open discussions with people about certain things that they wouldn't ultimately be able to relate to because they haven't even experienced it or they've never been able to see it like firsthand, So sometimes it's hard to get those people to relate to. And sometimes that can be with the person that you'll be dealing with, So it's almost like, have you ever had to try to have that talk with a person about religion or why you believe in a higher power or why they won't believe in something like that? Like it's cool for people to have their beliefs and certain things like that, but sometimes people won't make that connection between why you think the way you do, and sometimes it can be hard, and that can go with anything, So yeah, I mean, and what I mean is not bringing your same mistakes into the next one is like, I say it simple as I can. I would say it like this. With your baggage and what you have going on and what you're dealing with and stuff like that, from the next relationship to the next, whether it's with your partner, whether it's from a friendship, whether it's from a relationship with your family, things like that, like, I understand that you have a wall up for certain things that you've been through, and you do have baggage. We all have baggage, and you bring it in. But when you bring it to a relationship, make that other person aware of what you've been through, so they then can then accompany you with how to, not accompany you, but accommodate you with how to go about the situation. So, they don't really trigger you, or they know how to help you when you're going through things like this, when you are triggered or when you are going through things, and also understand that these are lessons that you went through to be able to understand that later on, you pull that luggage out, that baggage out the suitcase, understand like, okay, this is why I am the way I am. This is how I learned. You feel me? When you share that baggage with that other person, then, okay, that's in your baggage. Okay, let me show you what's in my baggage. So now you can relate because y'all got the same shirt. Y'all got the same pants. Now look at y'all. Y'all got the same baggage and y'all been, y'all packed at different locations and different places, and look at y'all meeting. And now y'all shared y'all baggage with each other and stuff like that. Now look what y'all can do. Y'all can travel with each other to anywhere because y'all are aware with each other's baggage. You feel me? Like, oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So like me understanding that I have my baggage, you have your baggage, and then we share with each other's triggers and each other's baggage and what's going on between like us and why we are the way we are. And then it's like, wow, we are one and the same. Or even if we are different. Oh, well, like for instance, like, oh, well, like if there's something on my mind or if I get so upset, I'm the type that's not confrontational. So I don't want to talk. I'll rather go calm down and then I talk at a better time. But then you may have another person, oh, well, I'm the opposite. If there is something going on, I want to talk right then and right there. I don't care if I'm upset. And then it's like, look, we share our baggage, but then it's like y'all go through it a couple of times and then y'all realize, crap, we can't talk when we're both upset, or stop running with me when we need to talk. You need to start facing it head on. Like, look where y'all get confrontational and stuff like that. And then it can end up being like pulling teeth, So sometimes you got to figure out what works for both of you guys and how y'all can accommodate each other. Because then, with y'all both having y'all baggage, which everybody does have, somebody may have big or smaller, y'all can then be able to travel together with that baggage. Bro, I know y'all feel like that got to make some type of sense, man. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful, but also you can't also let someone else suffer from what someone else has done to you but making them aware, like I was saying, to help you heal and also help you have solutions to accommodate each other, because what may have worked in one relationship may not work in the other one. You feel me? Like sometimes, some people may be going through certain things, and this is what I wanted to say is about certain things that may help you may not help that person. That's what people have to understand. Like, just because your mom and your father or your friends may give y'all a tough love and the cold shoulder, it may not always work for the other person. You can't always expect the way you were loved is how that person needs to be loved or healed. It does not always work like that. And that's what people need to understand is that, oh, well, that's the only way I know. Get that out of your head. This is the only way I know how to love. Everybody's not loved the same way. If you look up love languages and get in tune with how they work and stuff like that, then you can then be able to accommodate different people and learn how they need to work out with certain things. And that's a beautiful thing about it, is understanding that everybody heals a different way and needs to be accommodated in different ways. And that's how I feel about a lot of different things, because that's ultimately how we have to go about it. And a lot of us were raised different. A lot of us have different ways we want to go about certain things, and sometimes we want to go about talking things out. Sometimes you just want to sweep it under the rug, but it's not always best to sweep it under the rug. Sometimes you're gonna have when you face that problem again, you can't keep sweeping it under the rug, because then you're gonna have a bigger dust pile under that rug. Then all of a sudden the rug is gonna be off of the floor. It's not gonna be a rug anymore. It's just going to be a blanket over dust, and it's going to still be a problem because it's a visual problem. You still see the dust, and then you, like when you sleep it under the mat is not even used for a mat anymore. You feel me? It's just covering up a problem. Not even, because you still see the stuff that you're sweeping under there. You feel me? So with that being said, ultimately just understanding that it has to be a different way and sometimes a better way to go about a lot of things that's going on with this. And that's how you got to learn how to earn your partner, and sometimes be patient, because a lot of people are quick to jump the gun with being upset, and sometimes they don't give that partner that platform to speak out their problems. And ultimately, everybody isn't good at perspective. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever got in a situation or argument with somebody, and it's like you're voicing your opinion or what you feel? It's like you're voicing your truth, your justice, your perspective on what's really going on. But ultimately, it's like, I'm not voicing while I'm right. I'm not voicing while I'm right. I'm voicing my perspective on the situation. You feel me? Like, for instance, like we all got in a situation like this where it's, oh, I've been calling you all day, or I ain't hear from you all day. Why you didn't hear me? Oh, because I went through X, Y, and Z. Now, two perspectives. You feel me? Like you got two perspectives. Now, one perspective could be, oh, well, I could say this, oh, well, I didn't hit you today because I had to do X, Y, and Z, da, da, da. Now, one perspective could be, okay, I understand you had to do what you do. Okay, I understand that you were so busy, da, 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 you didn't get a chance to do that. But then another perspective can look at it like, well, you had your phone on you all day. Why couldn't you just send me a text? You feel what I'm saying? And then you have another perspective is like, all right, cool. I understand. I respect that you have X, Y, and Z going on. But look, throughout your day, may you or can you like text me throughout the day, even if it's like, hey, woody woo, I'm about to go do this. I'm about to go do that. You feel me? Like, sometimes it takes that initiative to do those small things to help go around that. You feel me? Because you have to understand your partner. Because if you understand that your partner is someone who's big on communicating, like, I wanted to know the small things that go on, even if we don't talk during the day, text me throughout the day and we can talk at night. Or it may be vice versa for your relationship. It may be, let's talk during the day, text during the nighttime, and then, we call, tell each other good night for 5-10 minutes. Boom, gotta wake up early in the morning. You already know how we rock it. That's being on the same page. That's letting each other know. Just like the whole dating situation, as far as like, if y'all both know y'all both ain't got bread, y'all both should be like, and y'all trying to spend time with each other, y'all should both be like being out there and being publicly open about how to go about spending time with each other. Go over there, Ace. Go over there. Go, Ace. Freaking dog. I want to be petted so much. Ace, go over there. Go. Get out of there. You was drinking in the toilet. Go. So with that being, Ace, don't you lick me. You just drinking out the toilet. Move. I'm trying to do my podcast. Move. Ace, go lay down. Go lay your arms down. Go lay your arms down. Go. So with that being said, I just feel like it's a better way to go about it. You just gotta know your partner and what works for you guys, and then being openly like communicate with stuff like that, even if it does make it cringy or uncomfortable and stuff like that, sometimes it's better to make somebody aware than making it unknown for that person. You feel what I'm saying? Because sometimes I'd rather be aware of what's going on or how to treat you than not know how to treat you, because then I can narrow down the possibilities if I'm aware of how to treat you in certain situations or how to go about certain things. That's why you got to have an open platform. That's why you got to create a space for a vulnerable space for everybody, so that they can feel accommodated when they sit and they can talk to you guys about what's really going on. Because if I make you feel uncomfortable in certain situations about what's going on, you may not want to be able to come talk to me about what's really going on, especially if I'm your spouse, your friend, or brother, sister. It doesn't really matter, you know? So that's why I try to create a space of vulnerability. Like, hey, look, like, you can cry in front of me. We can talk about whatever, because I feel like I have that, you know. But sometimes everybody doesn't have that, you know, that thing to where they feel like they can relate or, like, you know, see eye to eye. So that's why we have that's what we lack in sometimes, you know. So sometimes people try to teach or learn. And if somebody is willing to learn the different perspectives and the different ways of how to think or how to go about certain things, then that's a beautiful thing. But everybody doesn't always have that, you know. So, also, I know sometimes it's awkward and it's weird letting people know what you want from the jump, or you may genuinely not know. But it's always good to communicate that, because it can create a space for communication about the certain uncertainty of anything that you want to deal with. So I just think that's a beautiful thing, because sometimes we always get in this situation where it's like, dang, I don't know what to, I know what I want, but I don't want to tell that person, because then that means I'm gonna show my hand. So what happens if I show my hand and they don't want that? You feel me? It's like that situation where you feel like, you know, you're dealing with a female and, you know, y'all both may want two things. One person may want to fuck, the other person may want to be in a relationship. And, you know, with that being said, sometimes you guys are working towards two different things. So you guys are working to get to two different places and doing two different things to get to those different places. So now all of a sudden you guys are not accommodating each other in the right fashion. So then when stuff hits the fan, it's almost to a point where it's like, what's worth it? Is this sex worth it, or is this relationship worth it? So then it's like, in a sense, some people don't work as hard as the other person, because it's a matter of, does that end goal that you were looking for matter that much to you? You know? So in a sense, and then sometimes people are not good at like keeping up with how to love logically, or how to go about things in a logical manner for both parties to be like met in the same manner, you know? So that's also something to be like think about too. But I just also think the best thing to do is for good communication is creating a great space for somebody to be able to talk to you intuitively about what's really going on. Because just imagine how great it feels for me to be your lover, your friend, you know what I'm saying, your doctor, you know what I'm saying, like your, like everything, you know, in a sense, because you will want that be that fulfilled for that person. And it's not that like for everybody, but I'm just saying, it's a beautiful thing if that were to happen. So with that being said, I feel like it's a beautiful thing if people will be able to be accommodated in that fashion. You know, it doesn't always work like that, but at the same time, I feel like if you care that much for that person, sometimes it's better to be accommodated by that person in that fashion. And if you care that much, you would then be able to go those lengths to meet that person's needs if it's on your heart to do so. I'm telling you, you can beat somebody to the right thing into somebody only like as much as you want, but if they don't make a conscious effort to do it, I'm telling you, they will never do it. If it doesn't mean that much to them to do it, they won't do it ever. They won't. And the other thing I actually want to share is like love is a scary thing. Having feelings is a scary thing, and I feel like it could be a scary, dark place when it's done right and when it's done wrong. And when I say when it's done right, I mean it can still be scary, because you could be loved the right way, loved the right way from your family, your friends, or from your spouse or anything like that. And you can still be so scared because you can understand like what would life be like without that person, and they can make you so scared to the point where you almost self-sabotage your whole relationship, because you may feel like, wow, I don't want to lose this person, but I feel like it's gonna happen. So you overanalyze stuff. You don't act yourself in certain things. Your irregular, your character is irregular, and you know, and it's almost a sense where it's like I know this is what I wanted for the rest of my life, and what I wanted, like this is how I wanted to be treated. But at the same time, it's like I don't know if I'm prepared to lose this person and stuff like that. So then you become extra emotional and stuff like that, even though you're getting loved the right way. And being loved the wrong way is also hard too, because it's almost to the point where you'll let somebody mistreat you wrong for the longest for whatever reason, and you'll still stay and ignore those red flags and stuff like that because you love them, but they loved you wrong. So you hold on to that piece because you feel like this is part of this. You feel like you want to make the scale different. The cons outweigh the pros, but you're gonna look at that scale different. So you got the pros and cons scale, and the cons scale is down more than the pros part is. But you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna put you're gonna take perspective out, and you're gonna put your weight on the pros on the benefit of the doubt on the pros. So then you're gonna make it look like it balanced out when it never does. So you see how the scale is messed up? When you take the benefit of take the benefit of the doubt off the scale of the pro side, then it goes back to the con part outweighing the pros. And then you notice that, dang, if I didn't give that person the benefit of the doubt, then I would have been able to look at the scale the right way and know that I was getting conned, or I would know that these red flags aren't worth staying, So, ultimately things can be worked through, but at the same time, you can't work through enough things unless that partner is making a conscious effort to do that. Or ultimately, if you have enough patience to work with your partner through that, So, yeah, man, love is a dangerous thing. It's a crazy thing to have. And sometimes ultimately, like, you could be looking for something else, you could be looking for one thing and find something else. And it's a hard thing to grasp because I think we love a lot of different things, and sometimes I feel like, how can I explain this? I feel like if you've done something a certain amount of times, you will know how to deal with it. So I feel like certain things to us become like not habitual, but they come more like common, like like casual sex or thing like that. So people honestly feel like it's easier to handle that. But like love is crazy because you don't really fall in love or love too many times. So then when you have feelings before you get vulnerable, then we get vulnerable, it's a different type of feelings. So it's almost in a sense to where it's like, dang, I don't know. I know how I act, but then when I'm in love or when I love, now my feelings aren't regulated. They're on a different scale because I don't usually love. So now I'm like not the same person. So it's like, damn, like how do I act now? So now you find yourself acting irregular because you're not used to loving or being in love and stuff like that. So you find yourself like, dang, not really ultimately knowing how to handle that situation because you're not used to it, So love is a crazy thing, man. And being loved the proper way is even crazier. And being loved the wrong way is we can all attest to how that could then be, but it could we just all can find ourselves in these situations, But yeah. And that's all I got for today. Hope you guys really got something out of this. I really do appreciate you guys for listening, man. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'll be releasing the title of my next episode, soon, because I got it all planned out with what I want to be able to attack next and stuff like that, because I feel like it's things that people need to know and need to learn, and I feel like I want to be able to speak on it, and also I want to be able to get other people's perspective on it as well. So if you guys got any like questions, you want to send me voice messages, you guys want to email me or hit me on Twitter or IG or anything like that, like I'm more than happy to be able to talk to you guys about any questions that you may have or any topics that you may want me to speak on. My Twitter handle is Adrian ADRIANP_MM. Again, that's ADRIANP_MM. My IG is AD_Palmore, PALMORE. Again, it's AD_PALMORE. Now, also what I want to let you guys know that, my podcast is going to be on Google Podcasts and Spotify and things like that. So you guys will be able to reach it on there. And, don't be afraid to reach out to me if you guys have any questions or anything you guys want me to touch bases on or stuff like that. Or even if you guys want me to go on IG Live, I can address some questions and stuff like that. So yeah, I just create a space for guys, for people in general to feel vulnerable enough to be able to create, like to be able to share their energy with me. And yeah, I'm big on energy, so I hope you guys really enjoyed this. And I'll be dropping another episode soon, so we could keep going back to back with this. I feel like it's a great space of energy for all of us to be able to accommodate each other with. So yeah, love you guys. Yeah, stay tuned for the next episode. And yeah, Wheezy out of